people in your LinkedIn network will see the change on their homepage.
Okay.
Your changes are visible to everyone else,
Okay.
but not to
But
people outside
active
your network.
updates is
After the
only
fact,
my first connection.
that's exactly right. If
Okay.
people are coming to your homepage, they're seeing the change that you made. They're just not seeing it right after you made it. Okay. It's the difference is Facebook is a closed community. You can update your Facebook ad nauseum, but only people in your friends, in your friendship circle will see it. LinkedIn, your status changes are visible to everybody. As it's happening, it's visible to people in your network. They'll see it on their status updates. And that's a good way to keep in touch with what your network is doing. Look at those status updates. It'll tell you who's connected to who in the last 24, 48 hours. If those of you, there's some once a day people here, maybe do it half hour before bed. Kind of check out the day on LinkedIn, see if anything's happened with your network. You'll see new connections. You'll see someone join a group. Group joinings are documented on the homepage. Any recommendations of people in your network by people outside your network are visible. Questions answered. I mean, there's a whole information forum going on LinkedIn. If people answer a poll question, you'll see that they've contributed an answer. So there's an incredible world of information that you could do in 10, 15 minutes. You could learn a lot.
Can I keep my personal group, people that I'm linked into, can I keep that private?
Yes.
How do I do that?
There are visibility settings.
Okay, I
You'd
need
have
to
to
know
go
those.
into your account to do it. You can check what you want visible to
Is that on the
others.
homepage?
It's through your My Account. You'd have to go into your account and
okay.
actually set your visibility. So if you didn't want anybody to, let's say, see your education, or you didn't want anybody to see your connections, you could make that invisible. Other questions?
No, where?
I have
right, okay, up there.
you stress people that trust you, and I believe that that's really the power of this. But what happens when somebody who's connected to somebody who's connected to somebody who's connected to you asks you for a referral, a job referral? I don't know these people.
A job referral?
Yeah, like I want to meet. I understand that you know somebody at Quest Communications in Denver. I'm going for a job there. Can you? I would say I don't know who you are. I can't do that. What happens then? I mean, because it is a matter of trust. I mean, my whole business is based on personal trust.
LinkedIn takes the mechanics of human interaction and works a certain magic. I have to believe, and I operate on the notion that people on LinkedIn have a certain altruism or networking concept. And if they're not open to receiving introductions, then to a certain point, shame on them.
So you're saying shame on me?
No, no, no. This is the networking economy. This is, especially for people in transition, if you can get from point A to point B, and there's a few people who can take you there, your chess game, your mission becomes to get introductions to those people from those people. And yes, the answer is, if there's a high level of trust, getting a favorable introduction to someone, especially in this environment, is huge. And that is accomplished these days with great regularity on LinkedIn. I'm doing it for my network. If someone wants to meet someone in my network, let's say I don't know them that well, I can certainly...
How about you don't know them at all?
Well, then that's a different story.
Well, that's what I mean.
Oh, if I don't know them at all?
I'm talking about people I don't know at all.
Then you're absolutely...
No, if there's somebody I know, I have no problem.
Yeah. It's a faith-based system. If I'm giving a recommendation to one of the individuals in my network from you, I have to make sure that I know you and that I feel comfortable introducing. I don't use the term referring on LinkedIn. It's not a referral per se. It's a quality introduction. Some are more quality than others. And some people go about with good intentions, but they mess up. And it kind of turns out to be a fiasco, but it's no harm, no foul in the LinkedIn world. I mean, you have people that maybe you've targeted and you want to link in with them, and if you can get someone in your network who knows someone to get them there, by all means. Slide master. Down a little below, we have, on the right-hand side, you can see who this profile is recommending. Recommendations are key. How many people have recommendations on LinkedIn?
One.
One recommendation? Two? Others?
74.
74 recommendations? That's really good.
And that's, you know, I
That's
got
awesome.
my most recent job.
Excellent. So you're a firm believer in the testimonial approach,
That's
right?
right, yeah. I live on it, I use it for my job, and I used it when I got laid off.
Do you feel like with the more recommendations, the more people become acclimated to making recommendations and soliciting recommendations from the people, they tend to lose the value in a sense?
That's why I'm a big subscriber to quality recommendations. I have, in my practice, I use recommendation strategies that are targeted to get you strategically recommended. Now, it's great to wake up and see LinkedIn recommendations of the unsolicited type. How many people have just, of the recommendations, Judy, of those 74, how many have been out of the blue unsolicited that you didn't expect or surprised you?
Very good.
Okay.
I only requested recommendations from people that I worked with and knew well, either the clients or customers. And it was a good plan. It worked really well.
Two schools of, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I thought you had to be invited to give a recommendation. I mean, anybody could recommend, they could also slam you then too, right?
Well, I don't think anybody's going to slam it. I haven't seen any cases of that.
Well, I'm a recruiter. I have a friend who's a recruiter, and I Googled him, and it was all this slamming about this guy that I happen to know is a man of great integrity. So if they can give you a reference, if somebody's unhappy with your work, and oftentimes it happens in my business, we don't get everyone a job, and they could just say whatever they want about you, right?
You have to approve the recommendation.
Oh, all right, that's my question. Okay. All right.
That's exactly right.
So all the stuff has to
Recommendation
be
won't
approved?
post
Okay.
until you click on accept this recommendation.
Okay.
I'll say this, you know, I and this is fairly recent, I have one person who wrote a recommendation for me, and we kind of did, you know, he asked me to write one for him, and I did, and then he ended up writing it for me, so it was kind of unsolicited. But I guess I find it a little embarrassing or a little uncomfortable to just ask people to write a recommendation for me. Is that just my own thing, or is it?
Yes.
Why? Are you recommendation worthy?
I think I am, yeah. But it's like, you know, maybe it's just my own personality, but asking someone to write a recommendation for me,
There is a certain diplomacy required. If you're asking someone to write you a recommendation, what do you think would be the factor that would tip the scales in your favor to get one? Anyone?
You know them really well.
To get one.
Reciprocity. By promising to reciprocate in timely fashion, people want to say good things about you. I guarantee it. I work with a number of clients who have a certain fluency about LinkedIn. They have high contacts, many of them 500 plus, with 2 or 3 recommendations. What's wrong with this picture? So we take them aside and we go through their connections. We say, who are your centers of influence? Who are your professional colleagues who would, all they need is a gentle nudge and they'll be happy to write something about you. So we craft communication that is geared toward the quality recommendation. In other words, if you've done something with a colleague, could you recommend me on the basis of our work together? Client, could you recommend me on the basis of the services I've provided? Character reference. Someone in business who you've not served, you're just kind of good friends, mutual, you know, there's a lot of camaraderie there. Character reference. Keywords. Integrity. Good humor, pleasant demeanor, capable, competent. I mean, testimonialese. I mean, we want good things said about us by people we respect. And what makes a recommendation even more so, a quality recommendation, is from people in your network who are reputable, salt of the earth, high-end people.
Is there, beyond the nice words that they use in describing you, is there anything in terms of rankings that when you have more recommendations, or they use certain keywords that it gets you, if someone does a search for someone in the business that you're in, that it brings your ranking up higher or anything like that?
LinkedIn has a very sensitive search engine. And the answer would be yes.
Okay.
That content is searchable. I mean, just do if you, in your spare time,